Welcome in, everybody. It's great to be here. Great to see all of you. Thank you for joining me for this incredible 3-day journey and event that we are about to embark on together. It is so incredible to be here once again, to be joined with all of you, new faces and familiar faces from around the world. In the chat, put where you are tuning in from. What is your core intention for being here? Perhaps it's one word. Anything that you feel called to share, throw it in the chat. Let's see where everybody's tuning in from here. We got Florida. What's up, Florida? David, good to see you, brother. And we got Chris. We got Mike from Maryland. All right. Brooklyn in the house. Virginia. Welcome in. Florida, Melbourne, Australia. Thank you for being here. Pennsylvania, Los Angeles, Minnesota, Northern California, PNW, Seattle. I'm headed up that way very soon. That's going to be my new location. Indiana, California, Taos. All right. Houston. What's up, Houston, Arizona, Montreal, Texas, Montana, Portland, Cali, Chicago, New Zealand, Australia in the house. Amazing, guys. We are from all over the map and joined together in this beautiful virtual space. And I always tell people that are new to these experiences, although obviously we've been online for a while and sharing in these different spaces, to not underestimate the power that we have together as a group, even if we're in different parts of the map. The coherence, the energy that can be filled within ourselves, within the collective from these experiences are incredibly powerful. And I've witnessed so much over the years. So, with that being said, we are at the start of this 3-day journey, which I call Breathe a New Reality. So, today we're going to be diving into some teachings. We're going to be kind of sharing some background to what to expect over the next 3 days. And give you some insight into why breath work, why gene keys, why does all of this matter? What does it mean for us personally? What does it mean for us collectively? So we're going to dive into all that. So I ask you to get comfortable, if you have your device, turn off your device, put it in airplane mode or put it on silent, grab some tea, and we're going to join together here around this metaphorical fire and share some powerful transformation and wisdom together. So, with that being said, just to start things off, if you don't know me, maybe you joined from a friend, maybe you came from somewhere else online and you've never met me. My name is Christopher August, and I have been on this deep journey of self mastery and self discovery for way over a decade now. And this journey has led me to many parts of the world where I lived in Tanzania, Africa, in the villages there for 2 years as a Peace Corps volunteer, to working with medicine men and women in the Amazon, to really bringing myself into this space as a student, as well as a teacher and a guide. And I play many different roles, but within my wheelhouse and within my sort of toolbox, I carry a lot of tools, but most importantly, the two that have impacted me the most being the gene keys and this incredible system and set of wisdom teachings that you're going to learn more about as we dive into this today, as well as the breath. And, I've shared this in my book, I've shared this on podcasts, but I had a near death experience while I was living in Africa back in 2014, where I drowned on the Zambezi River and was revived and came back to life. And the first thing what happens when we come back into our bodies or first are born into these physical avatars, we breathe. And in that moment, it was an awakening for me to really see the profound power and medicine of breath, not as just a survival tool, but as a tool for transformation, for a tool for freedom and liberation. And so you're going to get to experience that today through the activations that we have planned today, and of course, through this entire weekend. And why do we put these tools together, breath and the gene keys? I can share many different reasons, but what I found to be a very practical and powerful, profound tool to begin to interface with our own consciousness as well as with the intelligence of our body, as the breath is a gateway into the domains of the physical, the mental, the emotional, the spiritual. And by working on all these different levels and bodies, we can begin to create a level of coherence, clearing out the blocks and the static and coming back into the true knowingness of who we are, into that deeper level of connection with ourselves, opening ourselves to greater presence, into greater states of clarity, intuition, and ultimately allowing us to be free, to free ourselves from the inside out. And the Gene Keys being an incredible system of teachings that are act as a roadmap and a map of our own soul's journey, of our blueprint. And through these keys, we get to discover the deeper layers of ourselves, from our shadows to our gifts to our highest potential in our city. And so, if you haven't been introduced or haven't gone deep into the Gene Keys, this is a what I like to call a magic book in many ways, that when you open these transmissions, that you are interfacing with a higher consciousness, in the sense that this is your higher self that is providing this beautiful wisdom for you to eventually and essentially heal, grow, and evolve. And when you bring the breath into it, it acts as a tool for deep contemplation, which is really what the Gene Keys is founded upon. And this is where we get to experience the depth of inner transformation and self mastery. So, in again, my humble opinion of working with different tools and systems for many years, these two are a perfect union in marriage for us to really expand into our greatest potential here on this planet at this time. So that was a little bit of an introduction. I know that was a lot. We'll be talking a little bit more, but I want to mention a few things before we get started. Number one, I don't want you to be distracted by it now, but I'm going to put the link in the chat to the Mastery Collective. If you haven't joined the community, all of the replays are going to be housed in there. So if you miss a day, you can catch the replays inside the community. Secondly, if you haven't downloaded or at least, got your free profile on genekeys.com, you definitely want to do that for today, as we're going to be going through your profile. And then I've also added in a guidebook that was inside the Mastery Collective. That is a PDF that is inside of the chat right now. That guidebook goes through all 64 keys, giving an overview statement of the shadow, the gifts, and the cities, and as well as kind of what this all means. So you don't have to read through any of that right now, but I want you to have at least your Gene Keys profile handy and your PDF that I've put in there. So you just want to open that and just put that aside for a moment. I'm going to be sharing my screen and getting into some slides here. Some of you are already in my community, and inside of the Mastery Collective, we do this every month, where we're going through different spheres of our Gene Keys profile and providing these teachings and activations. So bear with me, as I'm just going to give a little bit of an overview and context to this journey that we're going to embark on. And then we're going to get into the core of the teachings of what we're going to be going into our attractor field and our attraction sphere. So let me share my screen for a moment, and we're going to get right into it. All right. So what are the Gene Keys? The Gene Keys is a system that combines the Chinese I Ching, the 64 archetypes of the Chinese I Ching, with your personal astrology. And this is basically speaking to the depths of your own soul, and that each of us came here specifically encoded in this lifetime with these different set of challenges, these lessons that we're here to learn and to grow from, as well as our gifts and what is tapping into our true authentic expression and power. And of course, these systems, astrology, human design, numerology, all of these systems have their own language in which they share the inner workings of yourself and what you chose in this lifetime. What I find to be really powerful about the Gene Keys is that the Gene Keys offer a very mythic and poetic approach, as well as a very grounded and practical approach to what we experience as humans, and that none of us are victims of circumstance, that we all chose the exact relationships, challenges, experiences to be able to ultimately evolve and expand ourselves and allow more of our truth to be expressed. And of course, this can be a very painful and arduous at times type of process. But we have to go through the mud in order to rise up. We must navigate through the darkness in order to find our light. And what I found to be the Gene Keys being such a profound system for that process of navigating our own interior, our own inner world. And so basically, within your DNA is encoded these specific keys. Again, I'm going to show a profile here in a second so you get that idea. And it's through your personal profile, through these different sequences, that you begin to awaken and activate that latent potential that is already within you. And the analogy I like to use in this situation is almost like, when you're flying on a cloudy day and you're taking off, you're going into the darkness, into the clouds. But what happens when you get to cruising altitude? It's nothing but blue skies and sunshine. That's essentially the human journey, is that sometimes it can be confusing. We get into different emotional states of fear, and all of that is essentially the clouds. And then, of course, as we rise up through breath work, through these teachings, through these different systems, then we begin to see that the sun has always been shining, which is our soul, and we connect deeper with that core essence of who we are. So basically, Ashley, just like a lotus. Yes, very well said. So basically, you're going to see the 64 gene keys. These are essentially the 64 archetypes, okay, match with these three frequency bands. You have the shadow, which is essentially our unconscious. I'm sure you're all familiar with shadow work and what the shadow is, but essentially the deeper levels of ourselves that oftentimes can be in a state of victimization or survival or fear, right? This is the shadow world. And these are necessary. The shadow is necessary in order for us to rise into our gifts and to transform. And essentially, this entire journey of the Gene Keys is just giving you an interface to show you how to transform your shadows into your gifts. And your gifts being sort of, if we're using more shamanic language, the shadow is the underworld. The gift is the middle world. This is where your power resides, the true creativity and intuition and all of these ways in which we are being more deeply into our authenticity. And then, of course, we have the city, which we can call the upper world. And the city is essentially the highest possible level of consciousness. The goal here, the intention, a lot of people ask, am I meant to live from the city? The city may be touched from time to time in peak experiences, but this is high levels of consciousness. But as we begin to, well, what we're navigating on the planet right now, go through this collective shift, we are going to see an implosion of very powerful energy that is going to be flooding us. And we've probably already been feeling waves of this. If you haven't watched my hour-and-a-half presentation called The Great Solar Flash and the Birth of Human 6.0, I'll put that in the replay so that you guys can check that out. That is a whole transmission on what's transpiring right now and how it's all connected to the gene keys, specifically the 55th gene key. So the prophecies that have been spoken about, the age and the era which we're in right now is all connected to this work. And that's why what I feel to be these are very powerful and advanced teachings that came to support humanity at a very crucial turning point in our evolution. So basically, the Golden Path journey is what we guide people through inside of the Mastery Collective. We go through the whole profile, and the whole profile is essentially the makeup or the roadmap of your soul. And so I'm not going to go deep into all of this, but it's important to have a base understanding to why we're going to go into what we're going to go into in just a bit. So basically, in each of these spheres on your profile, if you have your profile up, you'll see different names for each of these spheres that weave all throughout your profile. And essentially, each of these spheres contains a gene key, one of 64, which you're going to find in each of these spheres. Then it's followed by a line number, one of six. We're not going to touch on the line today. We do that deep in the community. That's a whole nother level of teaching. But I just want you to be aware of what this will look like. So again, each gene key has three frequency bands, a shadow, a gift, and a city. So every one of your gene keys placed in these different spheres will have these different frequency bands. Then you're going to see how they're broken up in these three main sequences, although there's four. There's the activation sequence, which is your basically discovering your higher purpose, your creative genius. The Venus sequence is all about healing your core wounds from 0 to 21 and opening your heart in relationships. This is deep relational work with yourself and with others, specifically your intimate partners or your family. This is where a lot of deep healing, ancestral healing can come through. And then we have the Pearl sequence at top, which is all about liberating prosperity in your life, working alongside who you're meant to work with, your fractal, meaning your soul tribe in a way. How it is you're here to collaborate and to essentially be of service to the whole, because the gene keys ask one specific question: how can I be of the greatest service to the whole? Because we are all designed in our natural state to be of service, whether that's energetically, just being in our authenticity, that alone is being of service, or it is actually going out and using our gifts to support others. This is one of the ways in which I like to be of service, is to share these teachings and to share what I'm passionate about in this way, to support you in recognizing more of who you are, tapping deeper into your purpose, inner and outer. So that's a little bit about what the Gene Keys is about. So when you pull up your profile, you're going to see this, right? This is your full spectrum here. And inside of this profile, again, you see these keys and all of that. Now, we can pick any of these keys to focus on, right? Each of them have significance: your life's work, your outer expression in the world, your evolution, your single greatest challenge, your radiance is governing your vitality, your well-being, your purpose is all about your inner purpose, so on, your mental sphere, emotional sphere, heart sphere, core wound, all the way through. They all have symbolic meanings to each of these spheres. But I was feeling into, okay, what do I want to do for someone that's maybe new to these teachings, or even someone that's been around for a while? I want to focus on one specific sphere, and I want to focus on this sphere right here, which is what this entire 3-day journey is going to be about. This is your attraction sphere, your attractor field. Now, you can think about this like a magnet, right? Where do you hold all of your power? Well, all of your power, and especially to the ancients and to teachings in the East, all of your power actually resides not up here, yes, here in the heart, but in your lower dantian, in your sacral. This is what governs your creative and your sexual energy. And of course, sexuality has been highly distorted on this planet for good reasons, to control people in many ways. And that's a whole nother conversation in itself. But your sexuality at its core, at its truth, is your magnetic power. And this is where you are essentially pulling things into your reality. Your creativity and sexuality are one and the same, and this is an enormous amount of power. And when we begin to wield it in a way that is conscious, and that is a way to begin to essentially architect and create the life and the reality that we desire. And there's many practices and teachings that go into all of this. But just to kind of give a little bit of a context to what we're talking about here. So because it's in the Venus sequence, naturally the contemplation is around pulling in people, relationships. This is how you pull people and relationships into your life. So you can look at the nature of your relationships, generally your most intimate relationships. which ultimately have been your greatest teachers, initiators, and catalysts and mirrors. But you're pulling it from this specific sphere. You're also, aside from that, you're pulling in experiences, situations, circumstances. This is your sacral. This is what is governing your manifestation power. And so when we focus in on this over these next 3 days, we're going to be confronting each of these levels, the shadow, the gift, and the city. Each day will be in, a different frequency band. Today's in the shadow. So this is what we're going to be doing some shadow work today and getting into and contemplating where we've been attracting people from our shadow, where we've been attracting opportunities or challenges or hardships from our shadow. So I kind of just went over this now, right? So you guys will have the slides to this. So you can read through it as you want to, but I just wanted to kind of just put it all here. But again, I'm going to speak to it at a high level. Again, we're working down in this base level here, and this is where we generally have a lot of wounding. There's a lot of programming, conditioning, wounding that takes place in the sacral, both for men and women in different ways. And women, this is your power center amongst all else. This is your womb, right? And so women have also been so deeply disconnected from the womb space. And for men, are that lower Dantian. This is where we're pulling up our life force energy and pulling it up into the higher realms. And so this is all about chemistry and magnetism. Where are we pulling things in? There's a lot of teachings on manifestation. There's a lot of teachings on law of attraction and all these things. And some of them are great. And to have gratitude and to, all these things, wonderful. I'm not going to knock any of them. But if we want to get deep into the metaphysical, into the biological, to how reality is actually being constructed through your DNA and through how you're pulling in life, these are the deepest levels that I've found of teachings to help support with that. So again, you don't have to throw everything out. You don't have to, put it all aside, but you can be discerning from where you're choosing from. And again, focusing your energy into really the power that resides within yourself. And so as we go into the shadow today, I want you to consider, where have you, been triggered by others or by life, right? This is really true self-mastery, in my opinion, requires self-honesty. It requires confronting the parts of ourselves that maybe we're scared of or that we're running from, which is very easy to do because it's also deeply uncomfortable. But true growth, in my opinion, true expansion doesn't come from comfort. It comes from going through the mud. It comes through the discomfort. It goes going through the pain, and not in a way that just keeps us there looping, because a big part of these teachings is actually 90% of the energy and focus actually goes into the gift, 10% in the shadow, because it's very easy to get caught in a healing trap. There's more, there's more. And yes, there's constantly layers shedding. But when we get stuck in that, we can't do this thing until we're whole, or whatever we're telling ourselves, that's not the case. But it's important to be aware and have awareness around where things are coming from. So I'm going to pause there for a minute before we get into the shadow, the gift, and the city. And then we're going to go through the activation itself. And I want to, before we even get into that, we're going to play a little bit into your profile. And I'm curious to see what you guys came in with, what architecture. So if you have any questions or anything else isn't clear, of course, put it in the chat. But do me a favor right now. Put a 1 in the chat if all of this is resonating with you, if you get what I'm putting down here. Because I know I've been talking a lot here for just a little bit, and sometimes, I get ahead of myself. All right, looks like we got some confirmation that things are resonating. I try to make these as simplistic and practical as possible because they can get very heady and overwhelming for someone that's just seeing these things. So I just want to make sure you guys are getting it, but it looks like I'm doing my job. So I'm happy. All right. Okay, so first we're going to talk about the shadow. Okay, and so the shadow of the attraction sphere specifically. So the shadow in general, we already know what that is, but as it pertains to the attractor field or the attraction sphere, this is where we're drawing in recurring relationship dynamics, patterns, people, situations that mirror our unresolved wounds. And how powerful is this? We have a built-in mechanism, right? And of course, in the early stages when we're getting triggered, we're projecting all of our blame and pain onto other people, saying, oh, it's all their fault. But guess what? These people that are coming into your life have come to serve you as a master teacher. And when you can truly see that these people, no matter how painful the situation is, you called that in for a reason. Now, I want to be mindful and careful here, but at the same time, be truthful and dial into a level of honesty. Yes, of course, like I'm not a proponent of abuse and oppression, all the things that happen. I know many people that have gone through deeply painful experiences as it pertains to relationships. I want to be mindful of that and cognizant of that. But at the same time, everything that is here for us is an evolutionary catalyst for us to grow. I do not promote anything that is anywhat abusive or anything like that. However, we are all co-creating on a much higher level than this physical level. And on this physical level, we have emotions. We have lots of things that we navigate. It's a very beautiful yet very messy journey. But on the highest of levels, on the soul level, we are really co-creating these contracts in a way to serve our evolutionary growth. And so when we can look at it from that lens, that we are not the victim, that we chose these experiences to help us to grow, we can begin to move beyond the stranglehold of the shadow that keeps us locked in the repeating patterns. Okay. So anything that is coming up in the shadow is all perfect. And this is a great opportunity to really, and don't underestimate just a few days of this work that we're going to be doing together. You can move a lot of energy real fast. And so just be aware of that a lot of stuff may come up and surface. And we just observe and we feel and we have compassion for what's coming up. But there's an opportunity with the collective wave of energy that we're experiencing right now to be able to ride that wave of our own transformation, because astrologically there's a lot happening right now, which I'm sure you're very aware of. And everything is being exposed and put into the light. Nothing can be hidden any longer. The collective secrets that we've been, enduring for so long that are now coming to light, which we haven't even seen half of them, to our own individual shadow, the things that have been suppressed, oppressed, repressed, none of that is immune to sitting in that shadow anymore. It's all coming up to the light. And a big part of this process, which I just recorded a video today, is that we're working with the feminine right now. So the energy that's rising throughout us and throughout this earth is the feminine. And it can be the fierce feminine archetype. When I say masculine and feminine, I'm not talking to genders. I'm speaking to the core principle that governs life, these energies that exist within us. And this feminine energy has been oppressed within all of us for so long. We've been locked into the shadow masculine of hustle, of grind, of force, of control, of greed, of separation, of domination, of abuse, of degradation, destruction. All of this has been very much controlling the matrix grid of this planet. And now that feminine energy is rising to break free from all the cages and boxes that we've been essentially suffocating in from our own doing, and of course, being sort of playing the victim to the collective doing. But we're dreaming up a new reality. But as we dream up a new reality, we have to go through the mud. We have to go through the uncomfortable. We have to go through the process, the excavation. We have to go through the death in order to be born once again. And so right now, all of this is coming to a crescendo as we are in the year of what I call the threshold. This year being that we are on the precipice of some massive major changes that are going to ripple across this planet over these next few years. This will be, in my opinion, some of the greatest few years that humanity has ever seen, or perhaps in thousands of years. So you guys are here for a reason, and you're doing this work for a reason. And how this all relates to the gene keys, it's directly tied to it, because it's to your evolution of your own DNA that's evolving beyond the limited capacity, but into a capacity of super potential and superpowers that are coming online. So, in my opinion, could be probably the most powerful work that anybody could do right now at this time. So, kudos to you guys. All right. So, the gift, which again, we're not going to be working with today, but I'm going to give context to the journey. The gift is essentially where we stop playing the victim and blaming others, and we begin to allow these experiences to serve our growth, to serve our discovery process, and to invite this in, and not again to play victim to it, but we actually evolve into a greater level of spiritual and emotional maturity. And from this frequency, right, which is just an energy, because all these archetypes, right, we can see them as just pure energy. Of course, they have words attached to them in the Gene Keys book, and you can read through the transmissions, but just on a pure energetic level, what does this frequency feel like? Where does it manifest in your body? Right. And, how are you pulling things into your sphere from this level of the gift? For example, I'm Gene Key 34. It's the shadow of force. So in the shadow, it's very much in this level of pushing and trying and trying to put, um, a square piece into a round hole. It just doesn't fit, right? And just keep banging your head against the wall. This is the level of force. The gift is strength, and really meaning your own inner strength, being in the flow of life, being in that more receptive feminine state, to be able to receive and to be able to pull things in from this deep wellspring of strength. So it's a completely different energy. And again, you don't even need to read it anything about the key itself, but just tune into the frequency of that word and then breathe into it, which we're going to do today. But we will go beyond that as well. And then the city, as I mentioned, this is high photonic light that is flooding us, right? And in our true natural form, right, as a pure soul, we are in this Siddhic state of consciousness. But of course, in this human avatar, we are at a place where we are working in these lower density realms, right? The third dimensional, fourth dimensional realms, we're in a body, we're in gravity, where it's a little bit heavier, right? So you can think about the city as lightness. It's high potential, high consciousness. And this could be experienced in many different situations. Of course, if we look at the ascended masters that may or may not have walked this planet, Yeshua or Buddha, maybe being just symbols, or perhaps they existed. No matter what, these characters that we have portrayed as these masters would have been experiencing and walking in this high level of consciousness. And more of this will become normalized. And as more people begin to enter these states, this has a profound ripple effect across the whole planet. This has a profound ripple effect across all spheres. So, because we are one collective mind, that we are not separate like we perceive ourselves to be, in that there is another, but we are all together. So, the work that you do on yourself, in your shadows and your gifts, all of that work is inevitably helping me, and it's helping others. So, this is not just a very personal process, this is actually a very collective process. And so the more people doing this work together, I can promise you the reality that you experience now will be totally different than the reality that is on the other side of this. And I know I've hyped this up a lot. I've been working with these teachings for close to a decade now, and I've seen how they have transformed my life and the lives of hundreds of others through the wisdom that is distilled here in its purest form, with no dogmas or attachments or anything like that. You can just read it and feel it. So I'm pumped up right now, if you couldn't tell. Oh, what's that? A woman that's distraught. That was for my Substack article. Okay, I think I'm done sharing my screen for now. Let's check out the chats. Yeah, so you need okay, you're on your desktop computer now. So I'll put it back in the chat here, the guidebook that I created for this. Okay. So this guidebook is what we're going to be using. So what we're going to do now, is we are going to take our Gene Keys profile and we are going to look at that attraction sphere. Okay. And I'm going to pull it up one more time because we have people joining us a little bit late. And so you probably don't know what I'm talking about right now. But hopefully you can go back and watch this replay if you did come in late so that you can get the full depth of the transmission. But in the meantime, I'm going to share my screen one more time because I know this always creates confusion for people. So I'm going to show you here. So we're going to be looking into our profile and we're going to be looking into this sphere. So all you're going to do is pull up your Gene Keys profile, genekeys.com/free profile. You're going to get your information and you're going to look at this sphere, the attractions field. And then you're going to look, yes, the number and all that. We're not going into line numbers, but you're going to look at the shadow. And in the chat, I want you to put the shadow of your attraction sphere because that's the energy we're going to be working with in the breath work today as we go into the activation here in just a bit. So what is the shadow of your attraction sphere? Put it in the chat. All right. Inertia, dishonor, desire, constriction, exhaustion, intellect, addiction, doubt, confusion, doubt, indifference, judgment, seriousness, complexity, inadequacy, interference, inertia, intellect, obscurity, constriction, control, obscurity, corruption, superficiality, psychosis, superficiality, mediocrity, hunger, dishonesty, inadequacy, vanity, compromise, failure, desire, selfishness. Okay. So, Kimberly, lust and passion is the line number. We're not going to get into that. It's just the word that you're going to see, which is the shadow. Mediocrity, addiction, provocation, 39. All right. Seriousness. All right. These are some good ones, guys. I'll add force into there. Mine's force. So, as we go through this, you can look at these words, right, which are frequencies. And you look at it and you're like, damn, some of these are quite heavy. Psychosis, seriousness, struggle, failure. Yeah. And this is the moment where we get to look at the shadow fully. Because if we're being honest with ourselves, how much do we actually want to go deep into the shadow? It's not that comfortable to look at. These are parts of ourselves. But these are imprints that we specifically chose at this time to begin to work with and to transmute for ourselves and for others. Mediocrity, Gene Key 8. Wonderful. So, what you're going to do now is you're going to pull up that PDF. Okay. When you pull up that PDF, the one I put in the chat, and you're going to find your Gene Key. Okay. It's all in order. I put them all in order. You're going to read the overview and transformation, and then you're going to read the shadow, and you're going to stop there. Okay. So, you're going to find your Gene Key, whatever it is, whatever number it is. You're going to open the PDF. You're going to read through the overview statement, and then you're going to read through the shadow. Okay. Whatever that shadow is. If you just scroll up a little bit, Viviana, you should be able to find it. Let me see if I can pull it up again. I exited out. All right. Does it stop the feed? Okay. So I just put it in there. So get that PDF while I put it in there. Did I not put Gene Key 25 in there? Oh my gosh. Let's see. Huh. I did not. All right. So 25 is not in there. Let me see if I have it on a document. That would be great because then we don't have to, good catch. Should have proofed that one. But anyways, you guys, take a moment, read through that, and then we're going to come back here in just a moment. In the meantime, I'm going to try to see if I have that 25. Okay, I have 25. So I'm going to put 25 inside of here in the note. I'll get back to you in a moment here. Okay, Lindsay is okay. I got the great. So your gene key, Catherine, it's your attraction sphere. It is the first number, and I'll pull it up again. Give me a moment. All right, I shared the master doc inside of there. For those that need Gene Key 25, you can open the link that is in the chat and you can look at Gene Key 25. It's in there. All right, to answer the other questions, what are we looking at here? So again, we share the screen. You are finding this gene key right here, your attraction sphere. So look at your profile, find the attraction sphere, find the gene key number, as well as this bottom line, the frequency band of the shadow. What word is right here? This is what we're looking for on our profile. That's it right now. Don't worry about the rest. Don't worry about the line number. Don't worry about the other. Just look at what the shadow is. And I'll give you guys a couple more minutes. Just read through the PDF. You might want to look through some of those questions as well that are at the bottom, but we're going to be focused mainly on the shadow. So that's what you want to look at. I'm not sure, Jen. I'm looking at the PDF right now. I was just on it. Let me go back to it. And it was, let me look. Everything's in there in the PDF. Just open that link and you'll find all the gene keys in there. And it's not fully cleaned up because I had to put it into a PDF. So there's a lot of like weird markers on there, but you can still, everything's in there. And if you're stuck, again, we're working in the attraction sphere. I pulled up the screen. I'll pull up one more time, and then we're going to have to move on because I want to be mindful of time. So we're working here for the you guys need to pull up, go to genekeys.com. If you've not been here, pull up your free profile, and then you're going to pull up the link that is inside of the chat, which will locate your specific gene key that's right here. So Lubana, you're looking at gene key 13. So you want to pull up the thing and put in 13. And if you guys open the link, they're not missing. Those gene keys are already in there. 16, that's weird. 16. Okay, I see what you're saying here. Yeah, but I saw the other ones in there. So let me go back and you can go into the PDF. I see what you're saying. They're a little mixed up in there. Okay. So for those of you that are needing the PDF, I'm going to open that or give that to you guys as well. Gene Key 25 is in that link. I will fix everything and have a clean PDF printed out and put inside of the Mastery Collective after this. So again, it's not the biggest deal if you don't know and can't read through it right in this moment. You'll have a final copy and version of that after this. Fifi, again, you don't have to worry about the decimal and the line numbers. We're not going into that. That doesn't, for this, doesn't apply. When you come, if you want to go deeper into my community, we go into the line numbers and all of that. So, but that's not a part of the teachings for today. It would be too much information. So you don't have to worry about that. All right. So for those of you that got the PDF that was able to open your gene keys, is this resonating with you? Do you feel synergy here? Can you relate to this shadow in some way? Put a one in the chat if this is resonating in some way for you. Great. Yeah. So your contemplation is through the lens of this shadow. How are you attracting people? How are you attracting challenges, things, situations into your life through the lens of this shadow? And it sounds like a lot of you can see that, right? And yeah, makes you laugh. Exactly. Because at the end of the day, it's all perfect and we're all living in this divine comedy. And when we can have some lightness towards our shadows, that's how we transmute this energy as well. But there is an excavation process, right? And that's what we're going to go through here in just a moment. I'm going to take you on a 30-minute breathwork journey where we're going to be working with the music in synergy with the guidance. And the music itself is in minor. Everything is in minor. So if you know anything about music, you have minor and major, right? Minor is going to be more taking you into that underworld, right? It's all created for the specific reason. So whatever your gene key, it doesn't matter. We're going to be working in that shadow energy for the breath work and examining that and feeling that and experiencing that somatically, spiritually, emotionally, and allowing us to move beyond and out of that frequency ultimately into day two, which is our gift. So, what I would recommend, number one, who here is new to doing breath work with me? I mean, I know a lot of you in here already, but who's new to doing breath work with me? Just put yes in the chat if you're new, or put new in the chat if you're new. Okay. All right. We got a lot of newbies, which is awesome. Love to see that. So, with that being said, I will give a very short, brief explanation on what we're going to be doing. So, number one, if you have a pair of headphones, I recommend it. You get a better sound quality. If you don't, it's okay. You can still use your speakers, especially if you have a Bluetooth speaker, that's fine. You keep your volume about halfway and kind of adjust it, turn it up and down as you need to. Number two, we're going to be doing this laying down. Unless you're an advanced practitioner, I recommend laying down for this experience. You don't have to lay down just right yet. I'll give you a few more things. And through this, you want to be as flat as possible, where you can begin to circulate that energy through your body. Now, you might experience some things. You might experience some buzzing, some tingling, some vibrations moving through you. The breath is activating the life force. That life force is activating the light. That light is activating the DNA. And that then on a very physical level equates to working with our nervous system, moving from perhaps a very deeply sympathetic, constricted type 10 state into a greater level of openness, into a greater level of receptivity, into a greater level of presence. And this is where we can begin to move through the mental into the emotional realms where there might be stagnant emotions that come up. You might want to cry. You might want to laugh. You might want to yawn. You might want to shake. You might want to move. Whatever your body is telling you is exactly perfect. There's no rules and rhythms to this. There's a rhythm to the breath. You're going to hear the breath sounds in the music. It's very easy to stay in rhythm, but again, however your body wants to move, that's fine. But again, you may experience some jolts of energy. You might experience some levels of emotion or even visions come through. Whatever it is, it's sacred and it's necessary for your experience. Now, in between each of those 5-minute rounds where we're going to be breathing in through our nose, out through our mouth, we're going to be going into breath retention phases where we're going to be breathing in, holding on the in breath. If you want to work with your Kundalini, you can pull up the perineum and bring that energy up. It's not necessary. And then I'm going to instruct you to breathe all the way out, and you're going to hold your breath for just a little bit of time at the bottom. This is where you can begin to receive. You can think about it like Shavasana and yoga. And so we're going to be just going through this pattern of energy through 3 rounds of breath work, a little bit of sound healing at the end, and then we'll come back and integrate the experience. So tonight's teaching with this will be a little bit longer, probably the next 40, 45 minutes. So you stick around if you can. And then tomorrow and the next day will be a little bit shorter because we'll just be going into some teaching a tiny bit and then some breath work. So with that being said, grab your headphones if you have them. I'm going to get situated, get my microphone, my headphones out, get the sound up on the computer. And that way we're just going to dive right in. And again, you can play with your volume. I'll have mine situated perfectly and you can turn it up and down as you need to. But yeah, excited. We'll see you guys on the other side. Getting fully settled to that comfortable, relaxed space. Grounding, anchoring yourself in to this moment, to this breath. Arriving fully into the body, into the sensation, into the feeling. As we take a collective inhale all the way in, hold it at the top, and release. Again, breath. Gather the energy and exhale. Sending that breath down into the diaphragm, into the belly, into the sacral, as we begin our rhythmic journey into the shadow, into the underworld. I'm going to breathe in 3, 2, 1. In. In. In, in, breathing fully, breathing deeply, inviting in this flood of oxygen, of life force. Filling yourself up with the depth of this breath. Letting this energy move from within you. Anything that's been stagnant, anything that you've been carrying, this constriction, this tension, this tightness, this resistance, this fear. Breathe fully into it. Anything that you've been running from, anything that you've been avoiding. Allow each inhale, allow each exhale to bring it up. Into the body temple. Stay with it now. And together, we're going to breathe in 3, 2, 1. Deep inhale. Hold it. Receive all of this breath, all of this energy rising up, 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 up. And exhale. All the way out. And again, deep breath in. And full release. Holding, pausing on empty. Together, breathing in, holding, feeling, and exhale. Letting it out, letting it go, as we invite in the presence, the power of that feminine force to illuminate all that is within. As we breathe in 3, 2, 1. In. 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 flowing, moving in rhythm, in harmony with every breath, allowing it to guide you, to steward you, to lead you into the unseen. Breathing deeper and deeper. Tuning in to the depth of this individual and collective transformation through the fire, through the flames of your own inner being, as it calls you forward, as it pulls you through all of the wounding, all of the trauma, allowing these fires to mold you, to shape you, as more of your truth, of your light emerges. Together we breathe in all this pranic energy in 3, 2, 1. Inhale. Suspend. Hold. Pause at the top. Inviting in the light from above to drop down and descend into the body. Into the cells. And exhale. Letting it it out. Letting it fully go. As you drop into the earth. Allowing the wisdom of the Great Mother, Gaia, to work and move through you as you breathe in. Breathe out. Restructuring, recalibrating, restoring, back into the heartbeat of creation, allowing that pulse to stream through. As we breathe fully in 3, 2, 1. In. Taking in that power, sourcing from the roots. And now, gathering that momentum, as you break through all of the limitations, the scarcity, the doubt, the fear, the worry, the lack, all that's been holding you back, all that's been keeping you small. Breathe into it. Feel it. Move it through the body temple. As you emerge, as you rise, so fully so powerfully. From the darkness, from the shadow, into your higher nature, into the light. This moment, in this breath, inviting in that love, that grace, that compassion, that sensitivity. Breathe it into your being. Breathe it into your heart. Trusting that in every single moment, in every breath, you are supported, you are guided, you are held. Breathe in, hold that breath. Feel all of that rush. And exhale. Release, 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 release. Letting go. Receiving. Just allowing all this energy to wash you clean. Feel the freshness, the beauty, the uniqueness of you. Inviting in all that you need in this now moment. All of that love, that safety, that trust, that support. As it all resides within you. That you are exactly where you need to be in this now moment. this breath. Being with this moment. Being with this body. This sacred temple of high intelligence. As we give thanks and appreciation for our journey, for our walk, for our path. For all the things that we've endured, experienced along our way. The hardships, the adversity, the pain, and how that's led us to this moment, right here, right now, in this breath, in this body. To recognize, embrace, and accept the full spectrum of our humanness, our divinity. Allowing our brilliance, our excellence, our magnificence to shine from within us. To use our shadows to empower us into our greatness, into our light. And if it feels good, placing a hand or two over your heart and acknowledging yourself, loving yourself, giving yourself praise. For you are a jewel. For you are a gem. And as we love ourselves, our darkness, our light, and everything in between, we step into wholeness. We step into truth. And when it feels good, when it feels right, you can begin to move and stretch the body in any way, gentle and slow. Feeling the shift. Feeling the medicine of your own breath. welcoming you guys back into this space after such a beautiful journey within. How are you all feeling? Take your time, no rush. Getting some hearts. Wow, thank you. Beautiful. How are you guys feeling? Put it in the chat. Amazing. Wonderful. Grateful, centered, never fails. Amazing. Mm. Hopefully, some maybe messages, things that came through, things that maybe surfaced in your own awareness, in your own body, sensations, feelings, flashbacks of how far I've come. Mm. I noticed being able to drop in way faster, almost instantly, and almost, yeah, more intensely peaceful. Amazing, guys. Love to hear all of this. You know, yeah, I need to love myself. Something significant release, colors purple, blue, teal, green. Wonderful. Energized. Wonderful. Swimming in light and water at the end. Guys, I find that, without putting too much words here, but I find that it's the simple that really is the true practice of everything. And that's why I share, teach, participate, practice the power of breath, because the breath is literally the gateway into ourselves. And it's been here the whole time. We just have forgotten it. And so, with pairing it with teachings like this, it really creates an experience where we can have the validation of our journey in the outer and have that deeper inner standing, and then be able to work with it in this really profound way. And, for me, having personal experiences in dark rooms and, peak consciousness moments, actually seeing the metaphysics of what's happening inside when we're breathing, we are breathing our light bodies alive. We are breathing all of the stagnation that has been gathered for all these years. We're liberating and releasing it. I can't share, I mean, I can go on and on for hours about the power of this breath. Yeah, let's see, tingling. My right leg wouldn't stop twitching. Yep. So the body is somatically releasing there. My child self was forgiving everyone who hurt me. I also forgave myself for allowing certain things that devalued myself, sending everything off with love and hugs. Yes. Using the Beats and Breath app creates clarity. Amazing. Love this, guys. I'm going to open the space up for the next 5 to 10 minutes before I share just a moment about what day two and what to expect if you're going to be there for day two. What an epic first day. So grateful to be here with you guys. I'm going to, if anybody wants to share any words, you're more than welcome to. We'll keep the shares, few moments, few minutes. But this is a great way to make it a little bit interactive. So if you can stick around for 5, 10 more minutes, this is a great time to witness and be seen in maybe a mirror of another. So if you want to, you can either raise your hand or you can you might have to raise your hand because I think everybody's muted. So you have to ask to unmute yourself. Cedric. All right. Cedric, what's up? Let me add you here and unmute you. And then you are good to go, my brother. Good to see you.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for that. I had a very unique experience because I was on my cell phone in my car finishing up something. And so I ended up I had put the message in there that I got to my desktop. And so my experience was not being quite in tune with the how everyone was going, and then I ended up putting it on my. I was having issues with getting it on the my headphone because I had the two, the Bluetooth,
Uh-huh.
and so I went to my phone and I was doing that, and I laid down, and then my phone ran out of juice. And so then it was like, okay, well, let me regroup here. So I ended up getting on my headphones, which is wired, and I didn't realize how long my cord was, so I was able to lie on the ground. And then but the whole experience in going through that, um, it just gave me an opportunity to release that it had to be exactly how it seemed like it should be going, and that,
Mm,
everything was in divine right timing. And so I was really grateful for that. I was really in the space of being present to where I was, and what my experience was. And so I was like, yeah, this is cool. And so, oh, and also, uh, when some of the music was playing, it had, because I do music and I sing and write music, and I'm into music. And the music had, if someone was listening to it, it actually had, well, part of the music had a certain rhythm to it.
hmm
And it was like, okay, you know what? It was it was like 8 beats for it, and it was like the in and out for 8 beats. They were kind of long actually, but it was like, okay, and you weren't saying anything at that point, so it was like, okay, I can be with the music and how it's saying like in and out. And so I'm so grateful for it. I'm just grateful for it. So thank you, and I'm grateful to be connected to this community of people. And oh, one last thing. I know I'm kind of long
No,
here.
you're good, bro. You're good, man.
As
Go ahead.
soon as I was getting ready to do my thing, and as soon as I got on my desktop, and you said something about ascended masters, and the symbol in back of me, I was involved in a spiritual teaching where ascended masters was a big part of the whole teaching. As a matter of fact, part of it was called Teachings of the Ascended Masters. And this symbol in back of me came from that uh, particular teaching. So I was like, man, it was like in tune with my being. So just wanted to
Mm.
say all that and give somebody else a chance.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you sharing all of that, man. And I love this because this is you really brought through the essence of releasing expectation and attachment to the outcome. Like, and that's one of our biggest, greatest lessons for all of us humans, right? Including myself. It's like, where are we holding expectations and attachments to how it should be? And now you releasing that is such a profound example. It's very simple. Things weren't working out in the ways they were meant to, right? It's all perfect. And I never question anything in regards to any of that. So thank you for being an example of that. And hopefully, day two, you can breathe with us fully the whole time.
Yeah, and also, the one last thing, since you said that, is that I like to really be in the moment of what's going on for me,
Yep,
and bring that to whatever I'm experiencing. That's why I said what was present for me then, and wanted to share it with the whole group, because I think that's important.
for sure. I agree 100%. It was the exact experience you needed. So thank you. Thank you so much, brother. Really, really appreciate your energy and for being here and for being here regardless today, whether it was working or not. But I appreciate you and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow too. All right. Martha, it's great to see you. Let me unmute you. All right, you're good. See if that works for you.
How's that?
Wonderful.
It's great to see you too, and everybody here. Cedric's share was really interesting because, I've worked with you for what, a couple of years now,
Yep,
and have done the gene keys and all of this, and so my shadow is interference, um, for attraction. So, I have beautiful friends around me now. I've managed to unload all the narcissists. They're all gone. Bye bye. And I remember I was on a hike, I don't know, a few months ago, and I was like, oh, you know what, universe, I think I'm ready for a new partner. And nobody's showing up, right? And so I'm like, okay. And so this unlocked this whole unconscious pocket around just living in the past, expecting things to go the way they've always gone, not being available at all, really, and I'm reasonably self-aware, but I had no idea I was doing that. So that was like just huge. So thank you. That's all I want to
Wow.
say.
Wow. Well, any realization, especially that's a big
Got a
one.
giggle, right? So
Yeah, for sure. Well, more unlocked. Beautiful.
thank you.
Thank you so much, Martha. Thanks for being here. All right. Kula, good to see you. I just asked you to unmute. Did it work? Maybe not. Let's see. There we go. Does that work?
There.
Yes. There we go.
Now I'm here. Now I'm here. Awesome to see you too. Wow. I just wanted to say that going as deep as I got to go today is just something I absolutely adore about doing this work with with your breath work. And I've been doing this now for coming up to 2 years, and it's just unbelievable. But today, particularly, I had something that just completely let go. And when we went in on the first part where we went in and we held on empty, I couldn't do it. I was sobbing, absolutely sobbing. And I thought, oh, I'm not even going to stop this. I'm just going to let it go. And I reached around and I held myself, and it was the one thing that helped me calm and just come right back into my body and just be at peace, whatever it was that decided to go. I'm just so grateful. And um, my um, my key is 20, which is superficiality.
Superficiality. Yep.
And I didn't really understand what that really meant. And I had it meaning something else completely different until I read the description that you put in. I thought, oh my God, that makes so sense. I get it. I get it now. And I know we're not talking about the lines, but I think what was released today was definitely related to the lines. And uh, yeah, I can hardly wait to go back home and talk about it because
Oh
I'm away house sitting at the moment, and this is just such a beautiful place to be. So
mm,
thank you so
thank you.
much for that.
Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate that. And yeah, guys, I didn't mention before, and perhaps some of you already have it, but if you guys want to go deeper, the Gene Keys book is the resource right here, right? So in the community, that you guys want to jump on monthly calls, again, I'll explain more about that as we go on. I give all of the audio transmissions, which are like 20, 25-minute transmissions, and then we use the book together. So right, what you're experiencing now is like the surface level of these, even though, they're activating, right? We're activating the frequency and working with the energy of them, but there's ways to go deeper as well. So, Ashley, welcome in, Ashley. I just asked you to unmute, so hopefully that works.
Can you mute me again? I can't seem to make it work on my phone.
I gotcha. Yes.
Thank you.
Ashley, are you there?
Yes, hi. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Yep.
This experience, well, when I heard you before on one of the apps like Inner Now or something like that. And I'm like, dang, these beats are hard. So I'm like, so I was like, so I just like checked you out on Instagram and I'm like, I've just been following since then. And now hearing your story for the first time, it's beautiful. It's phenomenal. And thank you for sharing your spirit, your being, and everything. And you tapped into your purpose and sharing it with us. So I just want to say I'm grateful for you and thank you for all that. I'm grateful for God for whatever creator created you for this space and for us. And this experience was, man, it was phenomenal. The leg twitching, trying to keep my breath down. And something said, remember when you were little and used to hold your breath for a long time in the pool? Do that. So I was like, okay. so, so yeah. And then it was really my child self that came through. And I just gave her love and forgiveness and told her just forgive and let go. So thank you for that. And then when my key, it said oppression. And right now I'm reading this book called Richard's F. And it said, "What are you afraid of?" And I said, I don't know, since I was little and today, I don't know. I do know why now, but I fear death. And it says it on there. And I'm like, how does it know? How does it know? So I can't wait to learn more because I'm like tripping off of how does it know by my information that I put in that I fear death? Like what the heck? So anyway, that's all I wanted to say.
Oh, Ashley, it's a pleasure. Thank you so much for being here and for your beautiful words. I receive, I receive, I receive. And also to just, yeah, go a little bit deeper there. Like all of this is why I love the Gene Keys, because literally there's these 64 archetypes, and these specific gene keys that are encoded within us, they're the ones that are essentially triggering these fears, right? So we can go into our own inner architecture and begin to see so deeply into our personal experience. And I found it to be extremely validating and allowing me to not just see it, but be able to feel it and actually transmute it. But that's a deep one, the fear of death. And I know that one profoundly until I did die and came back. So, but thank you so much, Ashley, for your words and your wisdom and for being here. And yeah, guys, this is just the beginning of what's possible when we're also doing this in groups. We can't forget the power of that together. And I'm going to go to Nick here in a second. And those of you guys that don't, I didn't really give much of a backstory, but all of our beats, all of our music is all originally produced. So it's me and my business partner, Johnny, and he's a musical savant, and we create a mix of all different genres. Tomorrow, you're going to hear all new tracks. You're going to be able to experience a whole different interface of breath work. Um, so yeah, it's all beautiful. So yeah, Gene Keys is the book, Cedric, and it's by Richard Rudd. I am not the founder or the creator of the Gene Keys. So I will say that. I don't know if I mentioned that, but Richard is a dear mentor and a teacher of mine. So um, all right, let's move on to Nick, and then we'll wrap things up here. So thanks you guys for sticking around here. Nick, what's up, my brother? How are you? Good to see you.
Hey, good to see you. Yeah, I just want to say thank you so much because I've been on this healing journey for so long, doing so many things, and what I'm coming to find now, it really is the breath. I was stuck in fight or flight and trauma, breathing from here, and I'm learning to bring that down into the diaphragm. And although I can't always like keep up with the breathing with you, I'm learning. It's just a profound experience. And even what you posted on Instagram yesterday about we're breathing too quick, so being able to slow that down. Oh man, it's just that's a huge journey for me, and you've been there for me, so appreciate it, man.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you, brother. And I see you, man. I see you. Ever since we met at that retreat, and just I feel you and I see you. So keep doing the work, man. You're doing great stuff. I really appreciate you, brother.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, guys, this is there's so much to this, and I have some teachings on YouTube if you want to go deeper into breath work, the metaphysics of breath I just released, speaking about trauma loops and the nervous system beyond just the science. It's into the command center, the electrical center of our bodies that in our nervous system that basically dictate our reality. And so when we understand how to work in a conscious, intentional way with our breath, we are literally transmuting all of that energy and that pain, that trauma that we've been locked into that chronic survival fight or flight state because of these habitual patterns through our breath, which then exacerbate our anxiety and stress and all the things that we experience day to day. So slowing the breath down, coming into these rhythms allows us to truly find that liberation and freedom from the inside out. So it's why I'm so passionate about this. It's why I've written books on it. It's why I teach it. So thank you for receiving it, because it wouldn't be anything if you didn't receive it. And so for tomorrow, we're going to be meeting at 3 p.m. Eastern. This is day 2 into the gift. whole new breathwork experience, whole new teaching, and allowing you to fully, again, go deeper into this 3-day experience. If you can't attend, the replays are going to be inside of the Mastery Collective. So again, if you haven't joined there, that is the place where everything is hosted. Again, it's free to join. There's a free version and there's a premium version. So you can just join for free, just put in your name and email, and all of the replays are going to be in there, as well as the PDF, which I'm going to fix and make sure all of the keys are in there. So thank you for pointing that out. And other than that, that's it for me. Yes. So again, the invite is coming from Luma, so I can't control what it doesn't allow you to select times each day. Inside of the Mastery Collective, the calendar is in there, so it shows you exactly what times. So be sure to join the Mastery Collective and get in there. And again, I got a lot of other resources as well, not just this. So I'll put that in the chat. Other than that, that is it, guys. The replay will be up in just a little bit. And I will be seeing you guys all for tomorrow. Much love, positive energy. Peace.